I'm Storm Tracker ET meteorologist Austin Haskins with your Wednesday weather forecast. We have a lot to talk about in the weather department over the next several days. We'll start with the sunshine and blustery conditions expected for today, with colder temperatures still leading to an elevated risk for fire weather conditions. And then our first wave of snow moves in tomorrow night into Friday, with travel impacts expected with that. And then we're tracking another area of low pressure Sunday and into early next week. And that one could be more impactful, but we're going to worry more about the top two headlines here in this weather segment. So we'll talk about first those elevated fire weather conditions again, which we've been talking about for quite some time now. Humidity levels today are going to be down in that 15 to 25% range, so lower than it's been in recent days. And the wind, albeit not as strong as yesterday, but we're still going to have winds 10 to 20 miles per hour, so we'll be in that elevated category. Out in central Minnesota, it's actually going to be approaching critical fire weather, so a red flag warning could be issued in that part of the area. I think we're going to stay just below the red flag warning threshold. But still, again, as we've been saying the last several days, avoid any open flames burning whatsoever until we get some precipitation to move in. Outside of that, we are looking at some very pleasant weather with the sunshine today. Just again, not going to feel as nice with those gusty winds and the chilly temperatures. Clouds increase tonight. We'll have some sunshine for part of your day Thursday, and then this run of Futurecast is showing the snow starting to move in after about, say, 9-10 p.m. tomorrow night, and going through that morning commute, with the bulk of it between about 10-11 p.m. until, I would say, about 6 or 7 a.m. on your Friday, then just tapering to a few light snow showers before we kind of wrap things up into Friday afternoon. Here's a look at the European model, and it's showing kind of a similar picture to this. So there is at least some agreement of the timing of the snow moving in, give or take, an hour or two on the start of it and the end of it. But this one, as we'll go through Thursday, again, a little bit of sun for the afternoon. This one has it coming in a little bit earlier than the last run of Futurecast you just saw there. This one is more so about 7 to 8 p.m., overspreading the area. And then still at least a good chunk of the area seeing some very light snow or flurries by mid-morning Friday. And then we'll wrap things up into Friday afternoon. So how much snow are we looking at? Let's take a look at some different models, and we'll start with Eau Claire. Here we're looking at generally 1 to 4 inches, 2 to 4 inches kind of seems to be the average of the models. One is going a little bit higher at about just over 6 inches, and that one has been running a little bit higher. And that's certainly a possibility, but it's definitely been higher than the other ones in the last couple of runs. For Rice Lake, the totals here are generally 2 to 4 inches, and there's at least a little bit better consistency when the numbers are a little bit closer together. And I say that because you look at Black River Falls and you got a couple of the models going 1 to 3 inches. You got one that's at 5 inches. And then you have one run of the GFS going 11 inches. So generally speaking, when I'm thinking for totals, area wide, 2 to 5 inches. But if we get a heavier band of snow to set up somewhere, there will be some isolated higher amounts possible. And that could be up to the north, that could be right through Eau Claire, and it may be down to our south. It'll be very similar to what we had back on Valentine's Day when we were looking at that heavier snow to be to the south, when it was really to the north and west. So we'll just have to watch for that as we progress into this event. So kind of the key takeaways: the snow does become likely, again, roughly 8 p.m. tomorrow through noon Friday. That's kind of when the snow will be around, but the peak of it, 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. Accumulation is expected, so shovels and snow plows will likely be needed. And then the snow blowers possibly, depending on how much snow you get, or if you just want to break out the snow blower just because. But there's still some question marks with this because, as I mentioned, that heavier band of snow could set up somewhere that could enhance totals a little bit. Also, if we get enough moisture to move in, and that is mostly at the onset of the snow moving in. As you recall, back in January, we had a system that brought in snow, but that drier air really kept that snow from getting farther north and west for a while until later in that evening, and that did at least bring some snow. But if we end up getting that snow to kind of hold off a little bit longer, that could limit totals a little bit. So we'll keep you updated on that as we progress over the next 24 to 36 hours. And we'll likely have some alerts being issued potentially for parts, if not the entire area. So we'll bring you those updates as they are available. So that's really our best chance of precip over the next 72 hours. Then we're tracking another system Saturday night, especially late Saturday night, all the way through Tuesday night. Now, there's still a lot of question marks with that one, and I'm going to worry about that more once we get past this current system. But this one has the potential of being even more significant than the one Thursday night into Friday, because we'll have more wind with it, and we could be seeing not only snow with this, but maybe even some wintry mix, and then we should potentially warm enough to where this could be rain for quite a time as well during that stretch. Again, a lot of question marks with that. Stick with the Storm Tracker 18 weather team for updates.